The struggles of selling used equipment out there. At some point or another, if you're in our industry, you're gonna need to sell your assets. Whether you're selling because you wanna come out of the industry or you're selling because you wanna upgrade your truck, your trailer, your flatbed, whatever it is that you're driving, you're gonna run into some of these problems that I have here. And if we brainstorm together, we might be able to help one another. So what's the problem with selling used equipment in today's market? So first of all, we have to talk about the lower buyer demand. As you know, trucking sucks right now. And not a lot of people are buying equipment. The market is flooded with used trucks, with used trailers, with vans, reefers, flatbeds, whatever you want. And if you're a buyer, cash is king. You can really get an amazing deal right now. But the lower buyer demand, that is a real thing out there and it's happening right now. And when is it gonna correct itself? I have no idea, but hopefully it's gonna correct itself sometime soon. As freight rates will start shooting up, that's when the demand for trucks is gonna come back. Now, I don't know if some of you know, but of recent, and that video is gonna be coming out in a couple of days, I've sold 15 of my power units to the Ritchie Brothers auctions literally just yesterday. So I can't wait to share those results with you. But selling units as a trucking company, selling trucks or trailers is a real thing for us that happens, you know, I would say weekly or monthly. But the second biggest problem that people have, and this is probably why I sent my units to the auction, is because of the financing problem. As hard as it is to find a customer, now they want to buy it, they give you a deposit, and now they go out for hunting for a finance company. Now, even with all my connections and even with my link, it's still hard to get financing out there. The lenders have gone tighter and tighter and tighter, and they don't like the trucking space because of all the defaults that are happening out there. They don't like the trucking space because they constantly have to engage with bailiffs to repossess equipment. That's extremely costly, and that's something that they don't want to get into. So what do? They increase their demands. Instead of 10% down, now they want 30% down. Instead of a duration for 5 years, they say 3 years. If a truck has over, I think, 550,000 miles, they don't want to come close to it. So the financing barriers are also very real. And that's probably one of the reasons why I sent the 2020s and the 2019, the Volvos and the Cascadias, I sent them to the auction. And the number one reason I did that is because people cannot get financing for it. I had probably 4 or 5 deals on the table over the last 2 weeks of somebody wanting to buy it, and then they get rejected from financing. Nobody has $40,000 liquid cash to just buy out the equipment. The third biggest problem is the falling resale prices. You never know what to post your equipment at. So let's say you have a truck and you think it's worth $35,000. You post it for $35,000, absolutely nothing. Okay, not a single person is responding to your ad. You top ad it, you post it up, and then you get 1 or 2 messages, but again, nobody's serious. So you take that $35,000 unit and you say, you know what, I'll drop the price to $32,000. And then when you drop it to $32,000, you might get a few messages here and there, but again, nothing is happening, nothing is moving. That's how you know how bad it is out there. Now, the fourth biggest problem that people have when selling their equipment is showing the equipment to buyers. So let's say I had somebody who said, hey, Ronen, I want to come see the equipment on Saturday or on Sunday. Well, my office is not open on Saturday or Sunday, or I'm not available on Saturday or Sunday. Okay, that's fine, he says, so can I come at 9 p.m. on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday? I said, well, I don't work at 9 p.m. But he says, but I'm a truck driver, I can't, I'm on the road all the time. So this whole showing the equipment has become extremely hard. It's like you constantly need somebody 24/7 at the yard in order to show equipment. We are a fleet. Can you imagine what other people go through, or people that are, you know, owner operators, or somebody who just has a fleet of maybe 3 or 5 power units, which is the majority of the people out there. So what are my options and what can I do? So honestly, with selling equipment over the last 6 months and selling in this shitty economy, I can give a few pieces of advice, and I'd love to hear some more from the audience. So number one, you can either take this truck or this trailer and you can go to any dealership that sells equipment, sign it on consignment, or what you can do is you can sell it to them wholesale. So basically, if your truck is worth $50,000, and I'll give you exactly my scenario with the Cascadias that I just sold at the Ritchie Brothers auctions. So approximately my 2020s, they all sold for about $30,000, plus minus whatever, $2,000, $3,000. Let's just call it $30,000 what they sold for. When I brought it to the attention of a few dealers, the local dealers, they were offering me $12, $14, and $16,000. And I said, are you guys crazy? These are, retail trucks. These are $40,000 trucks. Wholesale, they're 30. I mean, if they would have given me the 30 or even the 29, I would have taken it. Why? Because I would have saved the fees on the Ritchie Brothers auctions. But option number one that you have is you can basically go to a dealership, let them rip you apart because your asset is worth a lot more, because they want to make a lot of money and they're extremely greedy and they want to make money. So that's your option number one. Option number two is like I did. You take your asset, whether it's a truck or a trailer, and you take it to the Ritchie Brothers auctions or any other auction. Now be careful with that, because sometimes you can get a $50,000 truck, you can get an offer for 30 and there is no backing out of the deal. So even if somebody offered you $5,000 for your truck, you have to sell it. I mean, they take the ownerships before the auction starts. There is no going back on the deal. So it doesn't matter what you get for it. Now, we obviously tried to minimize the damages. We tried to, wash the trucks inside, outside, made sure that the tires are all even. We made sure that the trucks are in really, really good shape. We even put our maintenance records out there for everybody to see, the oil change intervals and every single thing that we've done for the truck. And that's why I think we got, better numbers than expected at the auction. The third thing that I can think of that we can do is have somebody stage it for you. So one of the things that I've done here in the Greater Toronto area, I just started marketing this piece. I started telling people, hey, let me take your used equipment, bring it to my lot. I have a 6-acre lot. There's been about 4 companies that have already jumped on the opportunity. In my lot, there's one area where I stage the trucks, I stage the trailers, and my security guard, who is there most of the time, will show anybody your piece of equipment. So if you have a truck or a trailer that you need to sell, you're running into the same problems that I ran into, then you can just basically bring the truck and trailer over to my lot. We only charge the parking fees that are here in the Greater Toronto area. I've done this as a free service to the public out there because I'm sure there's a lot of people struggling the same way that I'm struggling. And why not help each other right now, okay? In this desperate time that everyone is struggling. Now, I want you guys to understand, it's not just the owner-operators or the small fleets that are struggling right now. It's everyone across the board is suffering right now. These are my struggles when selling used equipment out there. I'd love to hear, some of your solutions, what you guys are doing out there. For those of you that are interested in bringing over your equipment to our lot, you're more than welcome to just reach out to me. Either put the comments down below or, find a way to reach out to me. I'm sure it's not rocket science. But yes, I'd love to hear some of your feedback and what you guys are doing and how are you getting rid of your used equipment without taking a huge cut or a loss from what the value is worth versus what you're getting for that piece of equipment. I'm Ronen, and I'll catch you in my next video.